Frankly, get it? Ethan Frank? Frankly, that was a much better game today played by the Washington Capitals on the road here in Detroit, second half of a back-to-back for both teams. This home-and-home series, much better game played here today by our Washington Capitals, but ultimately, at the end of the day, they still do not get the result that they would have wanted. Caps lose 3-2 in overtime, though, so they do get the one standings point. This one in Detroit on the road, like I said, against the Red Wings. And yeah, this game featured a much better start by our Washington Capitals than in yesterday's game. It was basically the exact opposite, actually, of yesterday's game. This time, it was the Washington Capitals who, halfway through the first period, were out shooting the Detroit Red Wings 10-1 and out-chancing them 5-0. Ethan Frank scored on the Caps' 11th shot of the hockey game to put the Caps up 1-0. And at that point, the shots on goal were 11-3 in favor of the Caps. And yeah, what a beautiful goal here by Ethan Frank as he burns past the Detroit Red Wings defense, turns on the Jets there. He was helped also by the fact that one of the Red Wings defensemen blew a tire there, did a bit of a face plant, falls down and gives him a lane to the net there. But yeah, he had a ton of speed coming through the neutral zone. He probably would have gotten past him anyway. We all know how fast Ethan Frank is. He holds the record, the world record for the fastest lap by a hockey player, a professional hockey player, which he did in the AHL with the Hershey Bears. So we all know how fast this kid is. So like I said, he probably would have gotten around that defenseman anyway, but helped out here by the fact that this guy blows a tire, giving him, like I said, a clear lane to the net. And then he makes a beautiful move on Cam Talbot, puts it 5-hole to put his team up 1-0. Assist on that goal, the primary assist and the only assist on the goal goes to Dylan Strome. So yeah, Caps up 1-0 here, playing a great first period, and that is how the first period would end. Then, second period, while the Washington Capitals are still all over the Detroit Red Wings in the offensive zone, the referee here calls Brandon Duhaime for literally a hit. Like, I don't know what that he called it tripping. Is that a trip? I don't know. I don't see any trip there. It's a hit. Like, it's a hit. He gets called for a hit. The NHL, the no-hit league, right? So with the Washington Capitals, like I said, having been all over the Detroit Red Wings for most of this game here so far, and all over them here still in the second period, this penalty comes here with the Caps all over the Wings in the offensive zone. Like I said, it is an offensive zone penalty against Brandon Duhaime, gets whistled, like I said, essentially for hitting a guy. So the Wings to the power play, and they score on it because of course they do, Lucas Raymond. And so this, like, it's a terrible call here by the referee. It was also majorly against the run of play. Like I said, the Caps were all over the Wings at this point in the hockey game. The penalty call is against the run of play here, totally, and it's a terrible call, right? And the Wings, they score on it, and so now it is 1-1. Then Ryan Leonard's older brother, John Leonard, who has absolutely killed us in this back-to-back here with the Detroit Red Wings, like I mentioned yesterday, having their moms there for these games. So this is cool for Ryan Leonard's older brother here, John, having mom in the stands there. He was recently called up, like I mentioned yesterday, from the American Hockey League, called up to the Red Wings, and he is making his impact felt here. He scores his second goal of the season, and his second goal in as many days here against his younger brother's team, the Washington Capitals, to put the Wings up 2-1. And Ryan Leonard, again, unfortunately, not playing in this game here today. He is still day-to-day. So no Leonard Brother Bowl here, not yet anyway. We will hope to see those guys face off against one another eventually. That will be pretty cool. But yeah, no Ryan Leonard here still for the Caps today. So now all of a sudden it is 2-1 Red Wings, even though the Caps honestly have pretty heavily outplayed rather the Detroit Red Wings. up to this point in the game, right? They find themselves down 2-1, and that is how the second period would end. Third period, less than 10 minutes left to play in regulation with the Caps trailing by a goal. It is Ethan Frank again, baby. Unbelievable game by this kid. Second goal of the game for Ethan Frank ties it up for the Caps. And this was just a really pretty passing play here. Dylan Strome to John Carlson, and then John Carlson to Ethan Frank in the slot, and Frank rips it, beats Cam Talbot 5-hole. Again, that is the second time in this game that he beats Talbot 5-hole. And yeah, we have got a tied hockey game here, like I said, with less than 10 minutes left to play. And that is how the third period would end. 2-2, okay, tie game. The Caps, though, like I said, playing a much better hockey game here today. The shots on goal were in favor of the Caps, 32-22 at the end of regulation. So a much better effort here today by the Washington Capitals, secures for them at least the one standings point. But now we go to overtime, and the Red Wings, they get a power play in overtime. So 4-on-3 power play for the Wings, but the Caps, they kill this one off. So a big time penalty kill there at the right time here in overtime to give themselves at least a chance to win this game. The Washington Capitals would come back after that in overtime with several chances to end this game. They cannot convert. And then, unfortunately, with, I believe it was 24 seconds left, Moritz Seider gets the goal here for the Wings. It's a really nice shot by Mo Seider, but yeah, an unfortunate end here for the Caps after, like I said, they played a really good hockey game here today. They get that big penalty kill in overtime, like I said, to give themselves a chance. They come back with several chances of their own. After that, can't quite get that game-ending goal, and then one shot here, top corner from Mo Seider, and it is all over. So 3-2 Wings in overtime, and that would be your final score. But yeah, happy with the Caps' effort here today overall. Like I said, a much better performance, a much better game than what they showed yesterday on home ice, right? It's kind of funny sometimes you play like crap in that game yesterday at home, and then you come on the road here today in Detroit and you play a much better hockey game. So yeah, much better effort overall here by the Caps, and at least they do get the one standings point here in this one. Every point in the standings right now, so important with the top of the Metropolitan Division, really the whole Metropolitan Division being so tight. It is a very, very strong division this year, so every standings point that you get right now is huge. All right, babes, that is going to be it for this one. We have got one more Caps game here coming up before a 3-day holiday break over Christmas. The 24th, 25th, and 26th are off days for the entire National Hockey League. So the Washington Capitals, one more game left here before that break. It will come at you on Tuesday, December 23rd at home at Capital One Arena against the New York Rangers. So that'll be the Caps' last game before the break here. And then they will return after that on the 27th, I believe it is, against the New Jersey Devils. So yeah, 3-day break upcoming here for the Caps, but they've got one more game before then against the Rangers, the New York Rangers, who lost to the Nashville Predators today. Oh, how sad. Yeah, so we will look forward to that one. We will be back with you here on the YouTube channel after that to recap Caps versus Rangers. And yeah, as always, babes, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate all of you fine folks so much. We're having a ton of fun here this season. You wish that the Caps could have gotten the extra point here today, winning either in overtime or a shootout. In a shootout, they're not going to win in a shootout, so they would have had to get the win in overtime, as we know what they look like in shootouts, right? So yeah, it was not meant to be today, but they do, like I said, get at least the 1 point in the standings, which is big at this point, or at any point really throughout the NHL season. So good enough, I guess, right? We will try to keep things positive here before the holiday break. So yeah, just thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, appreciate all of you so much. If you enjoyed the video, click on that like button down below. If you really enjoyed the video, click on that subscribe button for me as well if you have not already done so, or if you have, already subscribed, share us with a friend or a family member or a coworker or anyone, right? Any fellow Caps fan. Get the word out that we are here doing these post-game reaction videos after every Washington Capitals game. I appreciate that so much. I know tons of people have been doing that, and it is helping the channel to grow. So that's very exciting for me, and I appreciate that so much. So yeah, babes, thank you all. It's been a blast. We will be back, like I said, after that game against the New York Rangers. Until next time, baby. And as always, let's go, Caps.